did you hook up with NAS?
Well, really it's all about, you know, starting from being a fan, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, and I met him originally I met him in about 96 when I was on tour with my older brothers and sisters, Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers. And when I was doing the last album, Welcome to Jamrock, we invited them to be on the track Road to Zion. So that's where the link start really build from there, you know what I mean? And, you know, to where it reached now.
You know, that was it. You know, I wanted to work with him, so that's where it all started. And I had like all these ideas. I was like, what would happen if we had more time to work, you know? So that's what we did.
Tell us about a couple of the joints, what we can look forward to.
I mean, the whole joint is like, it's something different, man, you know? It's like, I feel like you can gravitate to it and get with it because it is something different, it's something interesting, it's something like, you know what I'm saying, you got reggae music, you got hip-hop music, all both come from each other and like, you know, give back to each other. Both of these musics are similar in a lot of ways, have a lot of similar background history to the whole origin, you know what I mean, without sounding all, you know, geek about it, you know what I'm saying, but it's like, this is like a thing that I've always liked Damian Marley's work, so this is like a real fun project that trying to get off a few points of views from my point of views and his point of views about what we feel about whatever and just mash it up.
The Distant Relatives album, as you've heard or not, you know, is an album that Nas and myself are putting together. The album itself wants to really have a strong reflection of Africa, you know, so a lot of the tracks have, whether it be African music influence or the lyrics is, you know, has some kind of connection to Africa, whether straightforward or subliminally, you know what I mean? But the whole thing is really like a whole Distant Relatives thing, saying that all of humanity is distant relatives and it all started in Africa. So that is the whole thing.
What reggae means to the world, you know, it's always been that music that kind of like, it speaks to everybody, you know what I mean? Like a lot of music only goes so far, doesn't get in certain type of department stores, or you don't listen to it on vacation, or you don't, reggae music is that thing, you know what I'm saying? So you mix that up with hip hop and you have a good time.
What was it like working in the studio with Nas?
It's a great experience, you know, having so much respect for an artist and also being a fan of an artist like Nas, you know, for all of these years, and then getting to see actually how he's putting his thing together, getting to observe him while he's voicing, all of these things is a great experience as a fan. And then also now becoming friends is, you know, best thing about the whole thing, you know.
What was it like working with Damian in the studio? Because he's like from the royal family of reggae, like Damian Marley. I mean, he's like the second coming almost.
Oh, absolutely. You know, shout out to him, his whole family. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, working with him in the studio is working with like an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's there on the instruments. He's there producing. He's there coming up with lyrics. He's there coming up with choruses. And, you know, he's all the way artist. You know.
Like I said before, I invited him on Road to Zion. I got to observe him work at least once that time. You know what I mean? I've worked with a few rappers throughout history, so in that kind of way, I mean, he didn't do anything that was way unexpected. But it was a real joy, really, for the more thing that was unique to me about working with Nas in that kind of sense is like, for example, in the kind of conversations we would have about the things that we were writing. You know what I mean? One lyrical line will start a conversation that will last half hour to an hour to 3 hours, depending on the topic. You know what I mean? So, really, I learn a lot by listening to Nas. When I listen to Nas, all while I find out to ask him, well, what does this mean? What are you talking about here? What are you talking about there? And I get to really learn more about a lot of situations by speaking to him. You know what I mean? So.
Is there any other reggae artists that you check for or listen to?
Oh yeah, man. There's tons of them, man. From, you know, Barrington Levy, Bounty Killer, Yellow Man, Shinehead. I mean, it's countless amounts.
What made you want to do the album with Damian? I mean, you could have chosen Sizzler or Capleton.
Big shout out to Sizzler. You know, I think he's great, man. I think Capleton's great. You know, I would like to work with a lot of different artists like them. You know, with Damian, we had when we worked on his last record. The setup was just like right there to continue working. So you know what I'm saying. Who says this won't be the last time I work with a reggae artist? But you know, this is just what we're doing right now.
Tell us about the joint featuring Kanan.
I mean, Kanan is a very interesting cat. I think a lot of people should pay attention. He has this record called Flag, Wave the Flag, is incredible. I think he's a genius, and you know, happy to work with him. I met him through DAMIAN, you know, and he just opened my world up to a whole different thing going on with rap. And he's from Africa, he's from Somalia, and he has a real raw story about what's happening. That some of his stories maybe seem harder than some of the most ghetto stories here in this country, you know what I'm saying? Because they go through a lot worse than what we go through here. So, you know what I'm saying? He's a talented artist, he's on the album.
Kanan is on Africa Must Wake Up, and also another song called Tribal War, you know. So Kanan is like a family member to me, and obviously somebody who represents Africa, you know what I mean, represents his home country, Somalia.
So what's next for Nas? Like, you've got the Distant Relatives album, the Rock the Bells tour has been amazing.
Yeah, man, Rock the Bells tour is amazing. It's the hottest tour going out in hip hop, period, hands down. Look forward every year, you know what I'm saying? Definitely support that Rock the Bells tour, man. Rock the Bells International too, baby. That's the next thing too. And the next thing for us is the tour, me and DAMIAN with Distant Relatives, you know, and probably a film that we're working on based on the project. And we plan to make a lot. If we can help anybody in Africa, Kingston, or Queens, or London, or whatever, if we can help anybody with this record, man, like not just with just hearing it, but monetarily, man, you know what I'm saying? We don't like to get caught up in all of that charity bullshit that everybody's, you know, sometimes it gets a little weird with that, you know what I mean? But if we can help anybody with this thing, then mission accomplished, man, because that's what it's about. Distant Relatives. I'm a you, me, we're all. That's what it is, man. And I think just the title alone just says, oh, it just opens up a whole different conversation about, you know, what this is all about out here. Distant relatives, you know, family everywhere, man, you know.
The last album, Untitled, opened everybody's mind. I think it feels like this could be your most conscious album yet.
Yeah, man. I wanted to be more impactful than my last album, Entitled album, you know, because just with certain things on that, I didn't get a chance to really pull it off all the way 100% the way, you know what I'm saying. It was a lot of pressure on that record, man. But you know, I do what I do, and however it comes out, I'm happy, I'm thankful, and I think this one will be a great turnout as well.
Is it true you're on the joint Empire State of Mind with Jay-Z?
What's that?
Jay-Z's got a new track on the album called Empire State of Mind.
Okay.
Is it true you're featuring on it?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
Okay.